Hey everyone, my name's Nate, and I know I'm probably a little late to this party, but I just finished God of War yesterday, and my god, this game is amazing. Now, I haven't seen any videos out saying that this game was bad or that people didn't like it. I'm sure that those people do exist, but they're all liars. Just plain and simple. Now, this game is absolutely amazing, and I think it'll probably take the 2022 Game of the Year award hands down. The only other game that could probably give it a run for its money is Elden Ring, but I don't think that'll happen, and let me tell you why. Now, to begin, I obviously have to start with the story. The writing and storytelling in this game was absolutely amazing, and the seamless transitions from gameplay into cutscenes just made the immersion so much more and made that story flow so much better, not having to get some stupid loading screen and then go into a cutscene or something like that. It was just everything seamless. It made it so much better. And right off the bat, we get hooked with this big chase with Freya from the previous game. You know, we killed her son and she's obviously still after us. And then immediately after, they're pulling our heartstrings. Atreus's wolf dies right away. So they always can get people with one of those. But after that, from the very beginning, this story never slows down. It is a constant roller coaster of friendship and camaraderie, sorrow and betrayal, anger and retribution, and so many more emotions that I couldn't even begin to describe them all. Now, I will say there are some aspects of the story I didn't particularly like or that annoy me, Atreus, in a lot of this game, but that makes a good story. If I like every single character, then it's not as good. The only real bad thing that I can say about the main storyline is that it is so good that it makes you want to skip through all of the rest of the side quests and the side stories and just go straight to the end. That is so tempting to do, but I am so happy that I decided to take the scenic route. Now, I think if you just did the main quest, you could probably finish the game in about 5 to 10 hours. It took me just over 36 hours to complete the game, and with the exception of a few side quests, like killing 48 of Odin's ravens, going and getting every single Berserker tombstone, and maybe a few other here and there, I did pretty much every single side quest. So I think if I was really going at it, it might take me 40 to 45 hours, depending on how hard some of those things are to find, to actually just 100% this game. And I have to say, I have no regrets deciding to take this scenic route and do all of these side quests, because not only did it make my Kratos and Atreus strong as hell, and that's always fun being overpowered, but doing all these side quests also enhanced and made the main storyline better, because it made me feel closer to these other side characters like Mimir and Freya, going through, getting additional information on their storylines, going through and having all of these side conversations with Freya, having these side stories from Mimir. It just makes it so much better, and it makes me feel closer to these characters. So whenever we get to this big climactic ending, I feel that the stakes are even higher, and that makes that main story just that much better. Now, swapping over from the narrative storytelling, the gameplay is incredibly fun. As Kratos, you start out with his axe and the Chaos Blades, and even though we had these two weapons in God of War 4, they didn't feel stale by any means. There's a ton of new skills, and each of those skills have additional challenges where you then get more damage or a longer stun or whatever it may be, more elemental resistance. It just, there's more stuff to learn and to do with those skills. Not only that, there's a lot of new runic abilities that you get to play around with and choose from and find the play style that you like the best between 2 and then eventually 3 weapons. And with those 2 original weapons that we start with, by the time I do start getting a little bit tired of them and feel like they're repetitive, we get a new weapon, the Dropnir Spear. And to be honest, when I first got the spear, it felt a little bit underwhelming. But I think that's just because the Chaos Blades are like so fun and so overpowered in an AoE type situation. It just feels underwhelming. But as you start to upgrade the spear more, and as you get more into that late game stage, and basically almost every single fight that you do turns into a mini boss, and you realize, oh, the spear is just so much better at single target combat. It just starts getting a lot more fun because of that. Now, continuing with the gameplay, we do also get to play as Atreus for a few excursions around Midgard and Asgard, and honestly, while it makes sense story-wise, I felt that his power level, it felt a bit weak, which obviously made the gameplay suffer a little bit. And obviously, he would be a lot weaker, going from the literal god tier Kratos to his half-trained son. He's of course going to be weaker, but because we are going from the amazing Kratos to Atreus, the combat does suffer a little bit. And it does feel worse because his combat just isn't as fun, isn't as good as Kratos. But I think that the storytelling with him was good enough and was fun enough that I was able to look past that, right? His interactions with Thor, with Thrud, you know, all these people. It was just so fun that I could look past the diminished power, and it was just overall fun. Obviously, combat-wise, I enjoy playing as Kratos so much more. But it's okay. I still enjoyed looking through Atreus' eyes. Now, to wrap it up, God of War Ragnarok was basically thrown an alley-oop by God of War 4. And they absolutely slammed that ball, tore the whole backboard off like Shaq, and it was just amazing. Now, it wasn't a complete walk in the park. God of War 4 didn't do everything for them. They still had to make at least an equally good story, and I think that they were able to give us that, if not a better one, because we got such a satisfying and great ending. And they also had to give us fun and diverse gameplay without changing it too much and making it feel like a completely different game. So again, I think that they did that extremely well with all the different types of mobs, with all of the fun mini bosses that you got to fight that had diverse enough combat. It was really fun, and I think it's an amazing game. I think this game deserves the Game of the Year award for 2022, and this game was definitely well worth the money that I spent on it. So with that, that's about all I have on this. I kept spoilers to a minimum, so if you haven't played it, I definitely would recommend it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and everyone, thanks for watching. Hey, Nick here. If you enjoyed this video, please gently caress that like button for us.
And Ray, thanks for watching. It was a blast. Make sure to hit that subscribe if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing, what me and him are doing. There. Me and him, Nick and Ray. Subscribe.